Yo, yo, yo. What it do? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Had a solid fun day yesterday, dude. We always do. It was cool trying out Killing Floor 2, though. Today we got a new game to try out for the community called No More Room in Hell. Even the title just is intriguing, you know. We're going to be playing this with community members today, and we'll see how it goes, dude. It's a little bit of an older game, but it's been supported for quite a while. Through, till currently, actually. It's still been supported till currently with updates and things like that. So I don't know. We'll see what we get into, man. It should be a good time, but you know what it is, dude. We're gonna do what we do. So we've got to dive into video gaming news for today, October 8th. Before we get into the gameplay, so on that note, I guess we'll get in there and we'll take care of that, dude. Let's get over here and let's see what's going on in the world of video games. Cool, let's go. What we got? Dude, my nose is a mess. I just sneezed and now my nose is all blech. Ugh, it's a mess, dude. I'm sorry. Wait, what? Dave the Diver's getting an update? Sick. Let's see what Dave the Diver's getting here. This honestly is like my game of the year right now. Dave the Diver is so flipping good. So good. The M Classic Nintendo Switch graphics upscaler? We'll see what that is. I'm not familiar. Let's get rid of some sports stuff. Might as well start doing this too. As much as I love the NHL. Yeah, we already knew this. I actually figured they would probably be trying to get done before then, but it hasn't happened, and we have seen where they're talking about they want to get this deal done. It's going to be pretty quick here. So, expect this. Yep. Microsoft will very shortly be the new parent company to Activision Blizzard. And we will start seeing what that means and what the effects on the video gaming industry that will have. One month later, I've forgotten about Starfield. Yo, okay. I mean, we kind of fleshed this kind of sentiment out yesterday a little bit. It's not a game for everyone. It is a game that some people love, and good. That's cool. That's the way, this industry works. A lot of times, titles appeal to I think overall, this isn't necessarily a poorly developed title. I just don't think that the content within and the way it was developed is necessarily appealing to. It's either something people have grabbed onto and have enjoyed quite a bit, or people are kind of turned off by. They didn't hit like a nice sweet spot of being able to, you know, be a pretty solid experience for most people. It's either or, it feels like. And that happens sometimes, you know, we've seen that. Pathfinder games come to mind. Pathfinder games have traditionally been something I've gotten the impression that people either really, really enjoyed or they hated. That's the way Starfield comes across to me, you know. So, I don't know. I did hear from one of our community members that there was some issues with optimization and stuff, which sucks. The worst thing about it is that it's not an outlier, you know, to what we normally experience in game releases nowadays. The rarity is that games come out and feel really polished and ready to roll. So, it absolutely sucks that that's the case, if that's what most people are experiencing or have experienced. But I'm not surprised either. But look, I mean, to be fair, isn't this the way it kind of goes? More often than not, the number of games that come out that continue to be ingrained in our minds, you know, burnt into our minds as forever something we want to continue to play, it is rare, you know, which is why I think the two games that are going to be really the contenders for game of the year award this year are going to be Baldur's Gate 3 and Tears of the Kingdom. You know, I don't think there's anything else that has come out that has been as impressive and will be as iconic and remain as I guess etched in our minds as something for the year of 2023's gaming as either one of those titles is. There have been some bangers this year, there really have, but does Starfield stand up to something like those two? No, I don't think so. And that's a respective take. For myself, everybody else is gonna, you know, have a different opinion on that, but I think just trying to look at things overall and the way that the industry has addressed these titles as a whole on their releases and the way people have kind of reviewed them and been impressed by them, to what level they've been impressed by them. I don't think Starfield stands up to something like the other two. I don't think that most people would disagree with that notion either. And like I said before, you know, a game like Starfield, there are going to be some people that continue to play it off and on for quite a long time. It's a big game. It's got a lot of content and stuff. But there are also a vast majority of players that probably, you know, have quit playing it at this point and moved on to other games. And it's an afterthought now, you know. Yo, I'm good, Davey. What's up, buddy? How are you doing? Thanks for asking, man. I'm great, dude. How are you? So, you know, but this is really usually the way this goes down. A lot of people play games, they get finished with the game, for whatever that actually means for each individual person, being finished with a game, and they move on to something else, and, you know, they kind of forget about the game that they were playing before. It's the way the gaming industry works for many of us, you know. Oh, really? Yeah, dude, I got a little bit of the same thing, man. My nose is kind of jacked too, dude. I like right before the montage quit, I was like sneezing. I was like, got it. So I had to go like blow my nose. Yeah. The weather's changing over quite a bit here, dude. So we're about to hit that time where people are going to start getting ill, you know. PlayStation deal saves you $93 on 2 popular PS5 games. We'll see what those are. X Defiant is going to be launching on October 28th. Isn't X Defiant Ubisoft's game? I think so, right? We'll take a look at that. Sorry you're not feeling great, buddy. That sucks, dude. At least you can just kind of like rest up today, yeah? Lords of the Fallen looks like it's going to be very good, man. I have hopes for that. Switch game free to download before it's removed from sale forever. We'll see what this is. Silent Hill 2 remake news may be imminent. Yeah, we've heard that this is kind of going to be the case, probably. So we'll see what's going on. This is Bloober Team's work they're doing for Konami. We heard that there's probably some stuff coming down the pipeline, some news for this. So let's see what we got here. Look at our other search real quick. No way, dude. ChatGPT was used to write the Gollum game apology, it's claimed? No. No. Yo, what? Oh my god, dude. If there ever was a way to be as ingenuine as possible, it's to have non-human entity write some kind of sentiment that's supposed to convey, you know, a symbol of regret or feeling in it, you know what I mean? It could be anything really. It could be of affection. It could be anything that's supposed to have to do with, you know, our human emotions and everything. To have something that is void of that be the one that orchestrates it and develops it is about the worst thing you could do. And then push it out there as something that your company did, your company wrote, because you're actually, you know, you guys feel that way. Well, that's rough, dude. We'll take a look at that. That's the Dalek Entertainment, by the way, just so you know. We'll be looking at it. Switch is getting a physical release for 7-game Star Wars pack, dude. What? Interesting. Talked about this, yeah. Basically, if you didn't know about this, Unreal Engine is going to start charging corporations for using their engine, Unreal Engine, for production of business outside of software, because right now that's about the only way that they benefit is from software. If anybody uses it for anything else, they don't really track that, and it's appropriate, right? It's their software, it's their engine, and it's not fair that other businesses are getting away with using it and not having to compensate, while the software industry is using it and having to compensate. So it only makes sense in both fashions that these companies that are using it that haven't been, taken to task for paying back for it before are equally charged the way software companies are, and that, also Epic get compensated for the fact that they're using their engine, Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Yeah. I mean, it's much shorter than Valhalla. That's that's one of the things that we knew that was going to be the case the entire time through development, right? I mean, it's apparently much shorter than about the past 2 or 3 entries of Assassin's Creed games. It's roughly a 20 to 25 hour game to get through, which is significantly shorter than what they had been doing previously. And we touched on this a lot yesterday. I mean, it's always going to be one of those kinds of takes that people have to determine for themselves. Are you getting your money's worth? Yeah, I've seen it. It looks like an Assassin's Creed game to me. It doesn't look bad. It looks like Assassin's Creed. And for people that like Assassin's Creed, and for those people that really, we're looking for the game to get back to what it was, because there's a reason why Assassin's Creed's popular, right? People fell in love with Assassin's Creed in the first place, and it evolved into something. And we've talked about this concept a lot too. When you take a game and you kind of strip away the things that made it popular in the first place, that's a weird thing for people to grab onto. It's not that people don't expect a game to evolve, in certain forms and fashions, because that's the way technology works, that's the way the gaming industry works. But man, they had really contorted Assassin's Creed into being something totally different, in large part from what it ever was in the first place, right? And so I think getting it back to closer to what it was, the roots of what the games were in the first place, was a smart move from Ubi. But it's always a matter of each individual person trying to determine, are you getting enough good content out of what you're paying for it. And I talk about this a lot too. I think that there's always going to be like the kind of real sweet spot for developers to try and figure out how to incorporate a solid amount of primary gameplay hours so people can play the game, finish it, and feel accomplished in finishing the game in a respectable amount of time. And I think that a sweet spot for that is roughly 30 to 35 hours. I think that's appropriate. If you're talking about a full price AAA game, if you're talking about paying $70, which is $70 nowadays, let's, get that out there. If you're paying $70 for, that's US dollars, right? That's going to be more in Canada. That's going to be more in a lot of other places. It's just all, convert that to your own area and what cost of living is and stuff. But if you're going to be paying, say, and I'll get to another point with how much Mirage costs in a moment, because we talked about that yesterday too. So if you're going to be paying full price for a game, I think that the best thing a developer can do is give you that 30 hours of gameplay that allows people that don't have a massive amount of time to dive into a lot of additional content, spend hundreds of hours in a game, allow them to get through the game, feel like they got their money's worth, as long as it's good content. It still needs to be good content, right? But it needs to be enough time that they feel like they got their money's worth and enjoyed the experience as well, right? So that's important. But I also think that the best thing developers can do, and there's some developers out there that are really good at this, which is providing in some form or fashion the option to continue to immerse yourself and dive into additional content in the game, whether that be New Game Plus or end game grinding content. A lot of this will depend on the genre of game it is, or it could just be additional side content, side missions, open world exploration. It could be all kinds of stuff, right? So you know, I think that there are some games out there, and I think Bethesda's traditionally been very good at this, where you pay full price for a game. They give you a main quest line that if you don't want to do anything extra, you don't have to. You just follow that main quest line, you get it done, and some people are cool with that. You know, they're felt good. I'm ready to move on or whatever. But they give people an option to continue to explore a vast, open kind of esque world and get extra content out of it and things like that. CDPR does a pretty good job with that stuff too. There are some developers that are pretty good with that. And I think that's one of those things that developers have to understand is, you know, there's always going to be the case of everybody plays their games different. Some people don't have a lot of time to soak into their games. Other people do have more. And giving that entire range of people playing games in different ways and enjoying different ways of playing games, options of how to complete their gameplay, their playthroughs in different play styles. Yeah. If you want to just do the main content, cool, but make it feel like there's enough there. And also giving people the option to have, more content to do if they get through the main story and they want a little bit more. I think that's the best way you can actually approach it from a development standpoint. So the thing with Mirage that we found out yesterday, whenever I looked it up, was that it's actually at a $10 lower price point than you'll actually see on something like Valhalla. And Valhalla's, their previous entry. So, that's one of the things I was worried about, is obviously Mirage is now their brand new release, and I was like, well, what's this? And obviously that's for the base game, right? So there are other additions you can buy into, like every game always does, where you can pay virtually, much more than that for in my opinion, not a whole lot of extra. Really, it's a lot of cosmetics and stuff, which doesn't appeal to me, but to each their own, whatever. But for the base game, getting the experience of the game, you can pay $10 less than, you pay for Valhalla. And that makes sense. It's not as big of a game. And I'm glad to see Ubi do that. If you're not getting as much of a gameplay experience, why should you have to be paying more? But I mean, it does come down some of that's also going to be subjective, and is the quality of content that you're getting worth maybe paying the same amount for a game that isn't quite as long as the previous entry? Sometimes, just depends, you know what I mean? So, but it was nice to see them, do that, release the game at a little bit of a lower price point. And I think that's got to be a little bit to do with it. The fact that this game's not nearly as massive as the previous entries, Yeah, I mean, we talk about that a lot too, So, yeah. And I think that's the thing. I don't know with Mirage if there is any kind of additional gameplay you're going to get out of that amount of hours, And some people will feel okay with that. Me personally, I'm probably going to. And I think, what was it? Well, the game's like, is it just $50? Let me pull it up real quick. Was it 50? It's $50. So if the content's really solid, you know what I mean? That is $20 less for the base game than most AAA games release for nowadays. Yeah, I'm not gonna be real, you know, busted up about the game being like 25 hours long. You know what I mean? That's okay. I think that's okay. Yeah, I think that's all right. I would definitely be a bit more. I'd probably be busting on Ubi pretty bad right now if they pushed this out, the base game, at $70, and and it was only like a 20 to 25 hour game. But at 50, I'm more accepting of that. You know, I think that's a little more appropriate. Especially, you know, I mean, you take into consideration something like this, right? Let's go here. Speaking of EA, you know, well, let's go ahead and just pop this off too, if we're going to get on that subject. A new Vancouver-based EA studio. EA, sorry guys, it's so hard to say that without wanting to throw up. So, Immortals of Avium, right? This was just a pretty mediocre game. Base game is actually $10 more than Mirage is, and I'm pretty sure this game isn't even as long as Mirage is, you know? So, you're probably going to get a better experience out of something like AC Mirage, especially if you've traditionally enjoyed Assassin's Creed games. I don't think this game was bad, but it definitely wasn't good. You know, it was just mediocre. I think it's a kind of forgettable experience, really. You know? It's about a high 6 to a low 7 out of 10. Eh. But, I mean, the gameplay, you were going to get like 15 to maybe 20 hours out of this game, if I remember correctly. And at a $60 price point. Not worth, in my opinion. What I was basically informing everybody they should be doing is, if you want to play this game, just, you know, wait until it hits EA Play, which is like usually 6 months after a big EA title's release. And get a Game Pass subscription for a month and play it on EA Play. You know, I think that, you know, but everybody's going to feel different about how much, and like we said before, you know, is what you're paying for a game worth? Are you getting the best, you know, are you getting what you're paying for? Everybody's going to feel a bit different about that. And I don't know. I think that it was refreshing to see Ubi push that game out at $50. From a major big AAA developer, I wasn't expecting that, to be fair. Not at all. Yo, we jamming. Steam Next Fest is popping off tomorrow, I think. We should probably get some new sales popping off on Steam starting tomorrow. We'll see. I think so. That's what we're playing today. No More Room in Hell. Oh, God. I've got it. There it is. I think I got it. See what else we got in here. Honestly, I mean, I think it was really smart of Ubi to try and get back closer to what Assassin's Creed was in the first place, too. We've talked about this kind of sentiment with things like Final Fantasy and stuff like that before also, you know. It's not always, I would say not usually, a good look for a game to get vastly separated from what the game has traditionally been. That's quite often a pretty big turnoff for a lot of the game's fans and everything, you know. And I don't think that a lot of people thought necessarily that, like, you know, Valhalla was bad or Unity was bad or anything like that, but it was just, you know, not the same kind of content that they necessarily wanted and fell in love with in the Assassin's Creed games. Ubi can continue to make that kind of stuff, just, you know, find a different kind of lore and universe to spin it into. You don't need to make Assassin's Creed something that it never, you know, was in the first place. Same thing with Final Fantasy. In like Final Fantasy 16, I think it's a good, well-developed game. Just like I think AC Valhalla is a well-developed game. You know, it's just not necessarily what most fans want to see or expect to see out of, you know, the franchise they fell in love with. You know, I think that's really what it comes down to. What is this? Oh, we've seen this. We've seen this. I'm not going to dive into that. We've seen that. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2? This is basically like Nickelodeon's play on trying to compete with a game like Smash, right? Their first game didn't go over too well, but I didn't even know they were making a second one. Meow. That's the name of the song. Okay. Well, this is what we got for the day. We'll just stick with this, man. I didn't expect there to be like a ton of news this morning. Sundays usually tend to be a little bit dry. But I don't know. We'll see what we got here. Let's kill the music for now. Boop. I got a lot of coffee today. Lots of coffee. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 reveals Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender. All-Star Brawl 2 will feature fan favorite Avatar: The Last Airbender character Azula. Nickelodeon is the home of some of the most beloved animated shows and characters of all time. But to be fair, a lot of their video games have fallen pretty short. SpongeBob, Rugrats, Hey Arnold, Avatar: The Last Airbender, countless other shows have had a massive impact on pop culture, all thanks to Nickelodeon's smart curation of quality animated programming. Over the last 20 years or so, Nickelodeon has also recognized its massive library and sought to capitalize on that with crossovers both within its own shows and in other projects such as the video games. We've had Nickelodeon kart racers, team up games, and now fighting games. All-Star Brawl was a pretty big hit despite the fact it initially launched without any voiceover lines. Really? A pretty big hit? Yo, look. I mean, dude, I thought this game reviewed pretty poorly, dude. Yeah. Oh, I guess it was. Last time I had looked at this, hold on. Yeah. Okay. There were quite a few negative reviews, and I think it was around the time it released. Actually, I hadn't really looked at it since. But I don't know. Okay, it's not bad. Seven, high sevens out of 10. Yeah, interesting. Let's get back in it. So the game would later add the voice acting, and the various updates improved the game quite dramatically. A lot of developers over the last few years tried to make big brawlers in the vein of Super Smash Bros., but All Star Brawl is one of the few to actually really succeed. As such, a sequel is on the way, and it will bring a bunch of new characters on day one. The latest character revealed for Nickelodeon All Star Brawl is Azula, one of the antagonists from Avatar: The Last Airbender. She is known for being able to use lightning, one of the rarest powers in the Avatar universe. Um, that even Aang never mastered. Also, the sister of Zuko, but does not have the same conflicted nature of her brother. Let's take a look here.
Sorry I'm late. Good palanquin bearers are so hard to come by these days. Do you fear fire? 'Cause you should.
Ren and Stimpy,
You'll
dude.
enjoy your suffering.
Love me
I'll
some
show
Ren and
you
Stimpy
lightning.
back in the day.
Now do you understand?
Who's that, April?
I'll show you true
Turtles?
power.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Fire. My own mother thought I was a monster. She was right, of course.
I can't remember his name. He's from Hey Arnold,
But I'll
though.
catch you.
Yeah.
You should start running. I have defeated you for all time.
Cool. All right. Azula is one of the few Avatar characters that is almost pure evil and has one of the most interesting character arcs in the show due to the tumultuous nature of her own family. With all that said, her arrival in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 is sure to please fans. There's already a lot of excitement from fans regarding her inclusion following her gameplay reveal. All-Star Brawl 2 is going to release on November 3rd. I didn't even know that. Interesting. Okay. We'll keep track. People love the brawler games, man. You know, obviously made so popular by Nintendo with Smash. They really invented the genre, to be fair. Brought it into prominence. Cappy, what up, friend? How you doing? Oh man, my eyes are a mess this morning. Switch is getting a physical release for 7-game Star Wars bundle. The Star Wars Heritage Pack will release in December. Yo, the Coder games for sure, and Star Wars Racer. These are all these are all really solid, actually. Aspire and Lucasfilm Games have announced a physical edition of their 7-game Star Wars Heritage Pack for Switch. The physical edition will release on December 8th for $60, with pre-orders open now at various retailers. The Heritage Pack released digitally via the Nintendo eShop earlier this year. 7 classic Star Wars titles are included in the bundle, although 2 require a digital download. Knights of the Old Republic and its sequel. So the Coder games actually have to be downloaded. The rest will be physical on the cartridge. The Heritage Pack includes The Force Unleashed, Republic Commando, Episode 1 Racer, Jedi Academy, Jedi Outcast, Knights of the Old Republic, and Knights of the Old Republic 2. Yeah, we've talked about this. There's been some confusion this month around one of Aspire's other announced Star Wars titles, Knights of the Old Republic Remake. Uh, Yeah, Aspire is a subsidiary of Embracer. Embracer is apparently struggling. So we've seen recently they shut down Volition, which it was like a 30-year gaming developer. They just had like their 30-year anniversary. They started off in the early days with like games like Red Faction and Descent, but they were called what I think Parallax. And then they turned into Volition, and they were well known for doing Saints Row games, stuff like that. And to be fair, the latest Saints Row game was not fantastic, at least consensus review wise and everything. And Embracer was banking on about a $2 billion, some kind of, excuse me, some kind of like $2 billion deal to go through with Savvy Games Group, whom, if you don't know who that is the name of the company or the funding group that the Saudi Arabian regime has set up to divest their money into different areas other than just oil, you know. So that deal fell through. Embracer has been struggling ever since, and apparently they'd put a lot of their eggs in that basket, if you will. I don't know what exactly led them to feeling like they needed to be in that situation, and but it's been causing a lot of issues for them apparently, and so we've seen them take pretty drastic measures of shutting down studios and everything since, and it looks like Aspire is not doing too well for them. We knew for a long time, past roughly year and a half to 2 years, that what went down with Aspire. They were the ones that were tabbed by Embracer to remake Knights of the Old Republic for Sony. And upon one of the first showcases to Embracer's brass or top, management of the company, if you will, and Sony as well, to showcase what they were developing so far for the game, the leads of the development teams got fired. It was big news. And Embracer basically had stated that Aspire was no longer going to be heading up the production of the game. It was getting handed off to Saber, who is also another one of their subsidiaries. And then the information just dried up on what was going on with Knights of the Old Republic remake. To be fair, this is considered the greatest Star Wars game of all time, if not an actual just incredible piece of RPG gaming history. And if you're going to remake a game like that, you better do it right, or you're going to get absolutely obliterated by the gaming fan base, because you don't even need to be a Star Wars fan to have played that game and understand how iconic it is for the video gaming, community and fan base. So if you're going to do it, you better do it right. Otherwise, it's going to be a bad look. And I think they know that. And I don't know what went down, but it's been a big debacle for Sony and Embracer ever since. And who knows, it might just never happen for them now. I don't know. But that's pretty cool, man. Getting that's a nice bundle of Star Wars games there. Well, I'll give you another thought on that. If a zombie apocalypse happens and it's on a large enough scale, money's kind of going to become obsolete, at least in the way that we address it now. So, I mean, I don't know. Most of the time, if something like that goes down, you're just going to have piles of bodies everywhere being burnt. You know what I mean? So it's trying to get them all into an actual crematorium or whatever to burn them up. You know, yeah, yeah. If the outbreak was significant enough, it was big enough. Trying to get them into a a furnace like that to burn them would take stupid amount of time. Most furnaces aren't that big, you know. But yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it would come down to like, I think the scenario you're presenting there would be like, does this individual in this situation that has these um this crematorium or whatever, is he just comfortable enough that he doesn't need to worry about doing anything else but providing the service to other people? Because most of the time, if something like this goes down, like an apocalyptic kind of situation for the world, everybody's trying to figure out how to survive, right? Where do you get your clean water from? Where do you get your food from? Where you know what I mean? It's like it's just a day in day out struggle figuring out how to survive. And maybe that's, you know, if you could if you could provide that kind of service, if that kind of service was in you know, demand from people, if they were like, hey, well, you know, or maybe from a government or something, you know, and they were like, yo, we bring you bodies, you burn them, we'll take care of you, we'll provide you with your, you know, sustenance and stuff that you need or whatever. That could be a case. It could be a case, I guess, you know. Yeah, maybe so. Could be, I guess. Yeah. Um, PlayStation deal saves you $93 on two popular PS5 games. PlayStation has discounted a couple of popular PS5 games by 85%, making them dirt cheap in the process. That said, both deals are only available for a limited time, or more specifically, until October 12th. After this, one PS5 game will revert back to its normal price point of $60, while the other one will revert back to its normal price point of $50. These are US price points, by the way. At these discounted prices, there's a total savings of 93 US, with one game available for just $7.50 right now, and the other for $9. The two games in question are The Sinking City and Immortals Phoenix Rising. You know what feels bad is that Immortals Phoenix Rising is supposed to be a pretty decent game, and we just found out here recently that Immortals Phoenix Rising was well into development of its second title, and it got shut down. The testers of the game and everybody, they were like, yo, the game felt really good. And this was Ubisoft, I think, wasn't it? Wasn't this an Ubisoft game? I think so. Where are you? What's happening? What is going on? And apparently they just decided to scrap it. And a lot of people that were inside to the development of Immortals Phoenix Rising 2 were really pretty hyped about what they were getting done and working on the game. Game testers were like, man, the game felt really good. We were really excited about the you know, kind of evolution of what the second game was going to be over the first game, and it was coming together real nicely, and they just scrapped it, dude. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know why, really. You know, obviously Ubi's been having some struggles themselves, and apparently maybe they felt like that was one of the titles they needed to let go. So, um, The Sinking City is an adventure investigation game set in an open world inspired by the universe of H.P. Lovecraft. Let's take a look at this real quick. This does look like a cool game.
Peggy 18.
Well, I mean, that's just also what we kind of gathered from some quotes of people on the inside. Who knows what the entire story was there, you know? It could... I don't know, man. I think it's always going to be a bit of a different viewpoint if you're on the inside of the company. There's a lot of different divisions that come together to make a video game and to get it off the ground and stuff like that. There are going to be some people that are very invested in, you know, trying to bring that vision to life, and there are going to be some people that maybe see what it's developing to be and maybe have a different idea of whether they should continue to invest in it or not. Unless you're on the inside and get to see the whole picture. You know, I don't know. I think it's a hard thing for us on the outside to really get a total picture look at, you know. But it does seem like that quite often, doesn't it, Cappy? They're a big old spider crab. Ooh.
Got a new Vancouver-based EA studio. EA. Sorry, guys. It's so hard to say that without wanting to throw up.
Yeah. Did you see his eyes? Yo, wait, what? Watch his eyes. I wonder if this game's any good. Yeah, he's Squid Man now, yeah. The Sinking City. What's the Metacritic on this? $71. Okay. You might want to look at this before you decide whether you want to buy into this game or not. It's a pretty good price point, but you still might want to look into some of these reviews and everything before you decide to do that. Immortals Phoenix Rising is $9. Take a look.
Typhon is free. You need my help. Let the tale of Phoenix be my redemption. Oh, no, not another of your boring stories. How long is this going to take?
What's up, dude?
We don't have much time.
What'd I do?
Will be here soon. You're the only one who can stop Typhon from remaking the world.
I was a shield bearer. I tell stories. I'm not in stories.
You're literally all we've got.
I'm going to need allies to go up against Typhon.
The vanquished gods need to be reunited with their severed essences.
Aphrodite? Hephaestus? Athena? I'm looking for Ares.
I am he! Fuck off!
Prophecy
Yeah.
is yours. What do you want?
To be a hero.
Now we're talking.
Wait, what? Not at all, dude. No, not at all. But it's also not surprising. You know what I mean? No, dude, not. You know, it doesn't make sense, but I'm also not surprised. No.
Soldier shall be our salvation.
Now it's up to me to prove it.
It's probably one of those things where they're trying to like make a you know,
Immortals Phoenix
make
Rising,
it feel
available December
more
3rd.
beneficial for people to move on and buy into the modern console. You know, games are cheaper on the modern console. Get the modern console. Games are cheaper. Look how much cheaper games are on the modern console than the old console. You know, it's probably some kind of business tactic like that, dude. It's stupid, but it's probably that. They should be on they should be on the same kind of sell, you know. If you're interested in either one of these, here's your link. X Defiant to launch on October 28th, leaker claims. Reputable Call of Duty leaker MW2 Ghost has claimed the X Defiant release date is set for October 28th. According to the leaker, there is an apparent launch event for the 28th of October, which is what has led him to believe the release date that is the release date for the game. While Insider Gaming cannot independently verify the release of X Defiant, we have also been given information that suggests Ubi San Francisco, developers of X Defiant, yeah, I was right, it is Ubi, have a launch event set for October 28th, but the details of what the event entails are yet to be verified with us. If that date is accurate, it would mean that the game would launch on Saturday, or maybe the game will be released on Friday, October 27th, with Ubi celebrating with the launch one day later. Yeah, last month, Ubi reported that X Defiant didn't pass its submissions to Sony and Xbox, and as such, the game was delayed. We read about that, yeah. We're currently in the CM prep part of the process. We'll hopefully be submitting to first parties in a little less than 2 weeks. If that passes cleanly, then we could be looking at a mid to in September release. There is, however, a likely scenario where we get a conditional pass, meaning we have to do a day one patch with some final fixes to ensure compliance. If we do need to do a day one patch, then that pushes our date out to early mid-October, said studio head Mark Rubin. Whatever the case may be, it seems like X Defiant release date is imminent. If you guys don't know this game, here, look. Wait, does it not, do they not even, is it not on Steam? I'll pull up the trailer on, give me a flipping break, man. Pull it up on YouTube real quick. Five months ago.
Peggy
We'll watch this
16.
one. That's fine.
This is X Defiant, a free-to-play competitive shooter featuring fast-paced gunplay complemented with specialized factions. So, what are the factions? Our factions are all drawn from iconic Ubisoft worlds and represent distinct classes, each with unique abilities and ultras. You can choose any character from any faction to assemble your team of 6 players. And during the game, you can change your faction or loadout to adapt your strategy. For your loadout, choose from a large arsenal of weapons and attachments to customize and fit your playstyle. At its core, X-Defiant features realistic gunplay and the fun, familiar mechanics of an arena shooter. Each battle will take place on one of our 14 starting maps. Play casual matches and have fun with players of all types and skills, where every match delivers an
a lot of this looks
unpredictable and
very
unique
Call of Duty,
experience.
does it not?
Or play ranked mode in competitive matchups against your peers to push yourself further and see what you're truly made of, whether you're a beginner or ready to dominate the game. X-Defiant is free with crossplay, so jump in with your friends across platforms. And as a live game with fresh new content every single season, X-Defiant will continue to deliver an accelerating experience that will always be free to play and never pay to win.
What's up, dude? Yeah, something like that. So that's X-Defiant if you're not aware. It looks like we probably got about 3 weeks before we see this hit, if this unofficial release date is holding true for us, okay? Nintendo Switch game. What's up, Pinky? Happy Sunday, bro. How you doing, man? Switch game free to download before it's removed from sale forever. Switch fans are running out of time to play this game. Pac-Man 99. Came out on April 7th as a free Nintendo Switch online download. It remains free to download, but only until October 8th. We knew the game was being delisted since May 16th. On August 8th, the process began when paid custom themes were discontinued. Then on September 8th, the Pac-Man 99 Deluxe Pack and Pac-Man 99 Mode Unlock were discontinued. This process will conclude tomorrow when the online services for the main game, that's today, and the distribution of the main game and free custom themes will come to an end. However, after this, users who own either of the paid DLCs can continue to enjoy CPU Battle, Blind, Time Attack, and Score Attack in offline mode. Everyone else has until tomorrow to enjoy the game. I'll link this if you don't know what Pac-Man 99 is. But if you wanted it free, I don't know if you can still get it today or not. But we talked about this before. Sunday of doing nothing. That's not true, dude. You've got at least half a box of sangria to drink while we play No More Room in Hell. So I know that you don't have nothing going on, dog. we got a fun day ahead of us, bro. Zombie slaying, sangria drinking. A Tetris 99 has one of the best OSTs for real, dude. I'll have to check it out, man. Nice. Silent Hill 2 remake news may be imminent. We kind of had already heard this was going to be the case. This is a game being made for Konami by Bloober, right? Yeah, fans have been waiting a long time for more Silent Hill stuff. They've got like 3 games in development right now with Silent Hill 2 remake being kind of the biggest one of these at the moment. The game was announced last fall. There was a ton of leaked information before that. People knew this was coming, but seems like we could be treated to some news about Silent Hill 2 remake on Steam very, very soon. Steam page was recently updated with achievements and new subtitles, which should suggest that we may be getting closer to launch. Achievements tend to be one of the last things done on a game, as you want most, if not all, of the content to be locked in place before deciding what would trigger an achievement. Subtitles also likely wouldn't be locked in place until the main dialogue has been recorded. Of course, we're just speculating. These are somewhat notable updates, but grain of salt here for all of this, okay? If we're lucky, maybe this means Silent Hill 2 Remake is close to releasing and will come out early 2024. We'll see, though. Yeah, Bloober team, like I said. They're the same team that's done like Blair Witch, The Medium, other psychological horror games and stuff. So, are they not the ones who did? Hold on. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it wasn't. Hurricane, what up? How you doing, friendo? Happy Sunday. Welcome in, Hurricane. Hurricane Noob. I like it, dude. Good name. Yo, what's going on? Need to listen to what Pac-Man 99 has since the Tetris one was so good? Yeah, dude, probably. I need to listen to the Tetris one, dude, if it's just filled with bangers, dude. You know me, man. I love OSTs. Yeah. Solid, man. Word. Love to hear it, my friend. Love to hear it. Glad you're doing well. That's awesome, man. Welcome in, man. Always love to have some new people hanging out around the community and stuff. That's awesome, dude. Glad to have you. Glad to hear you're doing well, man. That's awesome. Chat, dude, Pinky, I was hoping you'd show up before this one, dude. You'll love this. This is actually disgusting to hear, man. You know, as if their game release wasn't just terrible enough earlier this year, then Daedalic Entertainment, which is the developer behind the recent Gollum, just terrible Gollum Lord of the Rings game, which apparently they've said they're no longer going to be a developer and just a publisher moving forward because their game was so bad. Apparently they used Chat GPT to write their apology for the game being so terrible. And we'll Daedalic. Are you not familiar with Daedalic Entertainment? It's Daedalic right here. This is Daedalic Entertainment. This is who we're talking about. Okay. If you're not familiar, that is the developer behind Gollum. They've done a lot of stuff in the past and everything too. Why am I not surprised? I know. This is what's terrible about this, though. You know what I mean? You want you know, a company is trying to convey some kind of sentiment that's supposed to be heartfelt, right? They're trying to convey some kind of sentiment that you would want and is supposed to be expressing some kind of human emotion. And instead, what do? They let a like software program write it for them, which is void of human emotion. Like that's like about the worst way you could actually go about this situation. So it's terrible to hear, dude. But am I surprised? No. So let's read this and see what's up and how people came to this conclusion. Chat GPT was used to write Gollum game apology. It's claimed the game is on the lowest rated release of the year. Yeah, it was really bad, dude. AI program Chat GPT was used to write the apology for them. It's claimed in interviews with German gaming outlet Game2 spotted by Noble. Several former Daedalic staff members have spoken for the first time about what went wrong with the critically panned licensed game. Following the release of Gollum, Daedalic apologized for delivering what it called an underwhelming experience with the final game. The company said, "We deeply regret that the game did not meet expectations and pledged to improve it via future updates." It's now claimed that the apology was written with the AI software ChatGPT, according to two sources speaking to Game2. It's also claimed the developer Daedalic had no knowledge of the apology or its content prior to publishing, and that it was handled entirely by publisher Nacon. At the time of publishing, Gollum is the lowest rated game of the year on both major aggregation sites Metacritic and OpenCritic, with The Guardian labeling it, quote, a derivative, uninteresting, and fundamentally broken stealth action adventure that fails to capture anything interesting about Tolkien's fiction. Here's the thing that sucks, dude. Oh, it's pretty good. Nice, Binky. Sick, dude. No, I don't know what Dalek is. Cappy, no. So the unfortunate thing here is the premise behind this game was always really interesting, right? Incorporating a piece of entertainment that was centered around focusing on Gollum's experience. Yeah, that was always something that I think had a lot of promise to it. But just because you have something that is intriguing on that front, you still have to follow through with a great development plan and a great amount. The content needs to be very good. The game needs to be polished. We talk about that kind of stuff a lot, right? And dude, the Dalek missed the mark. They missed hard, So this game was really terrible. And so the development budget for Gollum was reported to have been around 15 million euros, a modest sum for a game in the AAA space in modern gaming development. Quote, there were people working on the game that may have been developers for 10, 15, 20 years, and they're good. They can't do magic because they weren't given the funds, said former Dalek senior developer and technical director Paul Scholes. It was also claimed in the video that due to running out of time before the release, several characters and cutscenes that were meant to be animated were simply hidden from the player. For example, one scene that was supposed to see Gollum eavesdrop on a conversation between two major characters was recorded but never animated. So the Dalek had Gollum simply look at a window, have the audio recording play, never having to show the characters that were speaking. Jesus. You can't just throw more money at something like that, hang on for another year, and then everything will be fine. That's unrealistic because the game underneath it doesn't support it, says Schultz. It's also claimed the argument system, which saw Gollum and Smeagol argue over which option to take in the game, was never finished, and a makeshift solution was added shortly before publication. Initially, the mechanic was supposed to replicate similar conversations in the film, which saw the camera change perspective to denote which part of Gollum's personality was speaking. Quite often in the movies, like what you would see is whenever Gollum would speak, Gollum would have a very, aggressive kind of expressions on his face and stuff, And then when Smeagol would talk, he would look more reserved and kind of like almost scared and things like that, which is probably what they were planning on going for, but it didn't pan out, right? When the mechanic was first shown off in the preview phase, a similar presentation was used. However, when the game was eventually released, players simply picked from a few options of simple text, all while Gollum's lifeless character model floated in the background. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think there's any definitive information here saying that they, in fact, did use Chat GPT, but there are people to the inside of this company that have probably leaked that information and been like, yeah, that's basically what happened. You know what I mean? So it feels bad. I don't know. Here, dude, I'll express this sentiment a lot, and there are a couple of things to take into consideration here. The first one is if you're not gonna do something right, dude, you shouldn't do it. Yeah, if you can't fulfill what you're doing here on a project in this world that we all love so much, which brings us together every day to enjoy this, doing the news and playing games together and stuff. These companies, if you're not going to do it right, you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be publishing it. You shouldn't be, it's not fair to us as the consumer for them to be doing this crap to us. But this is also brings back into the fold the thing I talk about a lot, where a lot of what these companies will do is they'll get a license to make a game based on a very popular entertainment IP, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, I mean, you name it, right? And they feel like they can get away with making subpar content because it has the name on it. Sometimes it works, like Jedi Survivor. You know what I mean? A game's a hot piece of garbage, and they've made a lot of money off of it. Sometimes it doesn't work, like this. They made Gollum. They did not obviously have a great project plan in place. They didn't have enough of a budget for it, stuff like that, and it was garbage. It was trash. Again, I think the premise behind it was very good. I was really interested in the fact of being able to play as Gollum through, you know, the entire story of what happened with him through the Lord of the Rings. I think that's very interesting, but you got to follow through, man. You still have a hard task on your hands of making sure that you're providing quality content and a well-performing software to the consumer. They didn't do that. Not even close, actually. It's terrible. Daleks are a fictional extraterrestrial race of robots from Doctor. Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I haven't ever dove into the like Doctor Who universe, but I know people love it, man. Yeah. I've never gotten into the Doctor Who stuff, dude. Nope. No, I've never watched any of it at all. I know. Uncultured swine, bro. I know it. Yep. Dave the Diver, dude, this is honestly like right now, probably not for much longer, right? Because November's almost here, Pinky. But the reason I say that is because November hits, Pinky and I are going to be playing Baldur's Gate 3 together here on the stream. So, but for the time being, Dave the Diver is actually my game of the year, man. This game blew me away. I loved it. It was so much fun. And I don't know. I played a lot of good games this year, and Dave the Diver was something that I got like 50 plus hours out of. I didn't even, there were still plenty more I could have done. And every day I played this game, I had a blast. And there was always new stuff for me to experience, always new mechanics and things that the game was incorporating for me to have as gameplay. And it was funny. It was a breath of fresh air, dude, this game. It was like a $20 price point. I got so much gameplay out of it, and it was just so flipping good, dude. Oh, for real. Yeah, Pinky, I can see that, dude. I can see that. But right now, I mean, Dave the Diver for me is just what a banger. It's right up there with like, I think Hi-Fi Rush, dude, is just right behind it, you know? Hi-Fi Rush was so good too. But Dave the Diver was a big one for me, man. I loved it. I've got a lot of other notable ones out there too. This game was so flipping good, man. And they're getting a content update, dude. This is sick. Let's watch this. Let's see what's going on here with Dave the Diver.
Hi everyone, it's been a while. I'm Cheho, the director for Dave the Diver.
Hi, I'm Nolan, a game designer.
Let me know if that's too loud, but it seems a little bit low for a YouTube video.
2 months since our last update. We had a lot on our plates over the last couple months. The first thing, obviously, was preparing Dave the Diver for Nintendo Switch. And that's why I'm wearing this Zelda t-shirt that I got from official Nintendo store.
Very nice. You should have got me one too.
We just revealed the release date of Switch version a few days ago through Nintendo Direct. And the date is...
That would be October 26th. So now you can actually download the demo. On the
I think this is going to be a great game for the Switch too. The animation style, the graphic style is going to play very well for how old that hardware is. This is a vibrant, it's a very, very good game. The animation's great, but it is an older style of pixel animation and stuff. But it's done in a modern way, which is really good, but it'll still play well for how old the Switch hardware is.
And one of them was the loading time are longer than expected. We are aware of this issue right now, so we are working our butts off. Butts off is the right expression.
Working our butts off is
perfect expression. Yeah, working our butts off.
There you go. Yep. And so there will be something special for the Switch version. You'll be able to use the Joy-Cons for some of the mini-games. We made special Joy-Con controls for some of the mini-games that we thought would be more fun with the Joy-Cons. It's not like we're going to make the whole game only Joy-Con or anything, but just something that we thought would make the Switch version a little bit more special.
I tried it myself and it's actually really fun. But it's still probably better to actually see for yourself. So here's a clip of a C person play the Switch version. It's crazy. Take a look.
A C person. I was like, what are they talking about, dude? Oh, that's pretty cool, dude. Yeah, that they did this. Dude, this was a great part of the game, by the way.
So that's pretty cool, I guess. But by the way, isn't a sea person someone who has fish legs instead of the other way around?
I guess that one was a mutant.
If a game is banned on Twitch,
Okay,
usually what
so
that means, Cappy,
please
is
keep an eye
that
out for the Twitch version
the
releasing on
game
October
itself
26th.
can't be
We
streamed.
made a lot of quality
But
of
it
life
doesn't mean
updates
that you
in
can't
August,
necessarily
and the
talk
response
about
we
it
got
most
was
of the
really
time.
positive,
It's not
so we're
that like
happy
the
that
subject
everyone likes
of
the update.
the
Yeah,
title,
and since then, we've
you
been
know what I
working on
mean, in
developing
question
new
there
systems and new
is
content that we'll provide in an
completely
update in October.
We plan to add new missions,
you know what I mean,
species,
like
and several
just
systems, so I'll
not
briefly
not
go
able to
over
be
them.
discussed or
Okay,
anything.
with this
It's
update,
usually
new
what it
mission
means
will
is
be
that
added to the glacier
the
area.
title
Compared to the previous
itself
area,
is
the
just
glacial
you
area
can't
has less
stream any of the
mission.
content.
This area was mostly story-based.
What
But
game
we
are you
have
talking
added
about?
New missions in the update.
So we felt that there were a few species missing from Dave the Diver, and so we added crabs and lobsters into the game. But because you can't just catch them with normal tools, we added a crab trap this time. You have to set up the crab trap and then wait a bit for the lobsters to come in, and then you catch them that way. And to celebrate the new stuff, there will be a new lobster party event.
Additional nighttime
Lobster
diving
party
content
event,
is something a lot of
sick.
people had been hoping for. Before, when you went diving at night, there was a lot of overlap.
God,
species
this
that
game
you
was
would see
so
also during
good,
the day.
dude.
But in this update, we are adding various fish that you can only find at night.
So farm automation is a feature that many people have requested. In the past, in the farm, players had to continuously visit it to weed and water and harvest the crops. Now you can request the help of Sammy to assist with farming tasks.
Oh, interesting. That's
If you're far
it.
enough in the story, you know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, I
Happy
won't mention
Patuna,
anything
happy
else to
Patuna.
avoid spoilers.
Also, we've added features like egg storage bus to keep eggs from spoiling, and the
Oh,
chicken
really?
feed dispenser. So now you can use this to make farming less of a hassle when you have.
So
all
that
sorts
game
of-
itself
But
is
if you don't
actually
go
a
to the farm
banned
for several
game
days, the
on
storage
Twitch.
box
Yeah,
does end up filling up, so
you've
don't forget
confirmed
you still need
that.
to visit from time to time to empty it.
So even after you collect all the Marinka, some people have mentioned that
I don't even
there
know
wasn't
of it.
any special reward for that.
Yeah, okay.
But there was going to be an update.
What's the
for
name of the
this feature.
developer?
We cannot provide all the details right now, but we can say that you can expect to encounter a very powerful new boss.
Cool. Also, we have a new VIP customer that will make an appearance, the Wandering Merchant. So when you serve dishes requested by the Wandering Merchant, he later occasionally visits Bansho Sushi to sell various items, and you can buy crops from him and even try out secret recipes that you can only get from him.
Okay, so
Oh,
I'll go
okay.
ahead and mention a few more.
Oh,
updates.
okay.
Species
Maybe
select
I do
crabs
know about it and I'm
stargazer
just
that
not
you previous one unable to raise at the fish farm. can now be
remembering right
raised.
now or something.
You can also raise lobster you obtain from the crab trap.
What'd you buy,
Crab
Davey?
trap is hot for us.
What'd you
I've
buy,
been waiting
dude?
for you to mess that up, actually. it's like, I had to pronounce it.
What'd
I
you
had to do
get,
it
bro?
practice several
Yo, are
times.
you still playing Weird
I went
West,
to a
bro?
restaurant here where they it should have been crab cream pasta, and they
Is that the
mispronounced
Sinking City?
P and B, so it ended
Yo,
up
dude,
becoming
it looks really
crab.
good to me. Yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
so
I
much
love
of
that,
it,
like the Lovecraftian stuff, dude.
Also,
That's
the
right up my
seaweed
alley,
seed
dude. So
upgrade feature
if you
is now
play it,
available
dude,
at
you gotta let me
Herman's
know what you
Seed
think.
Shop. Tongue twister.
Yeah,
Upgrading your seeds will increase the
God
harvest
dang,
yield.
bro.
We also heard back from a
That's
bunch of
so
players that the
funny,
seed
dude.
shop and the farm were too far from each other. So now we made it so that Kumo directly sells you the seeds, allowing you to purchase them and then plant them right on the spot.
An operator will be added to your phone contact. You can check your fortune for the day or see.
Oh no,
what
yeah,
activities
Cappy,
are
I
happening
appreciate
at
the
Google.
you know,
You can
being
also enter
considerate
promotion
and
codes here
careful
to
in
get
respect
various
to that. Yeah,
prizes.
Also,
it's
we
normally
added
one
some
of those
items to the
things
Steam
where
Workshop,
it's
so you can now decorate
you
your
know.
profile how you want with various stuff. We made some slight adjustments to the balance of the now infamous shark known as the Thresher Shark that has killed its fair share of
It's
players.
more about
We've slightly
specific
reduced the
games
length of sight,
being
pursuit speed, and the damage
banned.
that
So
you take when it swims.
you're just not allowed to
think it's
play those.
updates
It's not that
also.
you like can't
It
talk
should save a
about
lot of
them and
lives,
stuff.
that's right.
Same thing. There will be like certain
Okay, we'll
streamers and
finish today by
stuff
saying
that
we really hope
um,
you enjoy the variety of
will
our
be
contents
banned off
that
of the
we prepare.
platform.
On
It doesn't
update
mean you
will
can't
be coming
reference them
sometime
or
in
talk
October.
about that
And
situation
also
or
take
anything
note
like
the
that.
content of
But
this
you're not
update
really
will be
supposed
included
like
in
they
the Switch
can't be
version
on your
when it
stream.
launches.
You're not
As
really
always,
supposed to be
we
showing their
appreciate your support
content
for
or
Data
anything like
Diver.
that. But it
We
doesn't mean you
expect to
can't
have
like
more news coming
speak
this year as
about
well.
the situation
So
or
please stay
anything
tuned.
either. You know.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Interesting, dude. They're making a lot of changes. And, dude, I've said for a while, once we found out this game was coming to Switch, that Dave the Diver is, for me, I see that as a game that plays really well on the Switch. Yeah. That works, Davey. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah. That's funny, bro. Yeah. So this game released in early access at the end of last year, almost a year ago, early access. But it didn't full release until earlier this year, which is when I played it. And it's so flipping good, dude. I can't recommend it enough. Yeah, they just talked about all this stuff they're talking about right here. Dave the Diver on Steam for 20 US. Dude, I'll just grab the link for you guys. This game is so good that if we're talking about it, Dave the Daver, dude. Dave the Diver, fantastic. Game is 20 bucks like you see, and you can see right here. This game is a 97 all-time reviewed game. 97% positive of over 53,000 reviews. Consensus, this game is amazing. And Metacritic's a 90. It's very, very, very good, dude. They absolutely nailed this game. It's so fantastic. There you go. There's your link to Dave the Diver if you need it. And here's your link to this article also if you're interested. But it's coming to Switch very soon, which is great. Let's see here. The good thing is you haven't seen my Steam wish list. Yeah. Use it as my interesting games list. There's almost 700 of them. God dang, dude. Yo, let me see this real quick. I'm not gonna pull it up on the stream right now. Let me pull up this oh god dang it, dude. Forgot to copy it over it. Yeah, hold on. Let me see what this is. See if I recall what we're talking about here. I want to be careful also. What? A stealth game about stalking a boy and secretly eliminating any girl who has a crush on him? What? Yo, that's wild, dude. Jesus. Oh, hold on, dude. Okay. Yeah, so I just like found like now um let me see if I can find like an official news source on this. But I found a Reddit post that's got some pretty disturbing information about this guy. It seems. Yeah, no, Cappy. Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, yeah, we care about you too. Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate that. Yeah. So yeah, we'll bring this up and kind of discuss this for a moment. Hold on. See if I can find another news article, but okay, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. I think I found it. Okay, yeah. Let's take a look at this. Interesting. Yeah. Gross, dude. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I wasn't really aware of this. I don't recall anything about this. Oh no, it's cool. Yeah, no, I found it. It's good. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. Um. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Um. This is video gaming news, obviously, but you know what our community, and this has to do with a developer of content that you'll never see on Twitch because it's a banned game. But it's still a developer, and a developer that's been controversial and had an amount of interest in them because of the content they've developed. And there's apparently a lot of new information that's come out in on this specific individual, and um, apparently in regards to grooming and things of that nature, which is disgusting. So I mean, it's appropriate to hit on it, right? So, and look, I mean, here's the thing. Sometimes we talk about dark things. Sometimes we talk about deep things, but this is also a community about um you know what I mean? Like all of us that are here on the constant, we're all people that care about one another. We spread good vibes, and it's about trying to promote being wholesome, caring, um, individuals day in and day out, trying to always further and better ourselves as individuals and as a community, right? And sometimes it's inevitable that we talk about the darker side of the world, and because this is one of those places that's in quite a stark contrast to what you'll see in a lot of other areas of online communities, right? Which tend to be very toxic and dark and nasty and stuff like that, right? So, for me, I don't mind diving into these topics because what it provides us the opportunity to do is, I think, educate on, you know, why we are adamant about upholding the standards of what our community is, because it's important to us and who we are, and the moral and ethical compasses that we all, tend to follow on a day-to-day basis, as opposed to the individuals like we see right here in this article that are doing the terrible, disgusting, you know, horrific things that we see, unfortunately, all too often in today's world, that present such dark times for many of us. It feels like we're plagued with this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, do we sometimes get into some deep conversations about some of the darker kind of, the things like this? Yeah, it's inevitable though, because of the fact that this is a community built on being wholesome, good, you know what I mean? People that are caring about one another, and trying to promote happiness and that kind of sentiment, those core values, and calling out these people in the world that are doing the opposite is an important thing, I think. So it's, don't worry about that. It's inevitable. We talk about this kind of stuff from time to time, and it's inevitable because I think it's important. These kinds of people need to be called out. Yeah, they need to be exposed for the disgusting things that they, and I mean, whether it be this kind of stuff or just being corrupt, you know, leaders of the world, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Anybody that's doing things that are detrimental to the well-being and health of other people in any physical or mental capacity yeah, they need to be called out and exposed for the things they're doing that is not promoting, uh, a positive, healthy, improved state for the world as a whole, in my opinion. Breath Edge 2 is being worked on in Unreal Engine 5. Oh, really, dude? Nice. Sick. I haven't even played Breath Edge 1 yet. I own it, and I really want to, but that's great, dude. Yo, that's cool news. Awesome. The first one's supposed to be a banger, dude. That's cool. Yeah. So, let's talk about this real quick. So, the Yandere, I think, is probably how that's pronounced, right? Is it Yandere? Grooming allegations explored as game designer faces cancellation in wake of apology. So yeah, apparently this is a pretty wild. This individual has been criticized, I think, for just in their initial notoriety has come around because of this game they developed, which it basically has to do with you following around a love interest and slaughtering, I guess, anybody else that has any kind of interest in that individual, which it's a game, but can definitely appeal to the darker side of some people's personalities. You know what I mean? And I can see why Twitch might not necessarily want it being streamed on their platform. That's about the most I know about this software. I need to probably be a little bit more educated on it and look up more information on it. So I'll try to do that in the near future. But Alexander Mahan, also known as the Yandere Dev, was recently accused of allegedly grooming a minor. A video emerged on TikTok on September 25th. So it was just, a couple weeks ago, showing a person who alleged that they were groomed by Yandere simulator developer. Pretty gory before, less gory now, huh? Showing, yeah, okay, so although the video was originally posted on YouTube, it has since been deleted. Yeah, trigger warning, this article contains mentions of grooming and abuse of a minor, so be aware of that. The clip showed details of Yandere Dev's alleged inappropriate, so let's not just refer to this as the Yandere Dev. This individual's name is Alexander Mahan. We need to not just be calling this person out by their notoriety of what they've done, but also as their actual given name. So Alexander Mahan's alleged inappropriate interactions with a minor. A few hours after this, the game developer took to his blog to apologize and own up to his mistakes. According to Metropolitan Police, grooming is, quote, when a person builds a relationship with a child, young person, or an adult who's at risk so they can abuse them and manipulate them into doing things. The Yandere Sim is a game that Mahan introduced to showcase the Japanese popular fiction trope Yandere. In the trope, a character has a romantic crush on someone, but it causes them to become violent to others. The game was set to start into development in 2014, but has since not been heard of much. Needless to say, its almost decade-long development cycle has become a meme among fans. Now, however, the game is trending again, this time because of the developer. His alleged Alexander Mahan's alleged interactions with a minor were posted online on September 25th. TikTok video showed the alleged chats between the anonymous minor and Yandere Dev. Reportedly showed the developer had groomed her when she was 16, according to Gamer Braves. Some reports alleged that the developer even made social media accounts to communicate on the minor's behalf to provide advice and guidance on how to avoid accusations as per OPP. He has since apologized to his fans on his blog for his mistakes, but has not admitted to grooming. The 35-year-old did admit that the girl had revealed her age during a video chat at the beginning of their interactions. According to the game developer, one of her friends listened to the recordings of the conversations between them. He alleged that the friend interpreted the conversations as Dev trying to groom her and convinced the minor to expose him. As per Distractify, the Yandere simulator developer Alexander Mahan explained that he used quote, the same type of vulgar jokes that he makes when voice chatting with his other friends. However, he immediately followed it by calling his actions an absolutely unacceptable mistake. Look, just because you talk with one of your friends in some kind of vulgar-esque, comedic kind of way, doesn't mean you go talk the same way to a child. And people are going to go, well, she was 16 or whatever. Okay, look, man, the way the law approaches this kind of stuff, you still have to take that into consideration, right? And if that's what up? Yo, thanks for the follow, a random boy. Appreciate it. Random mote time actually. So get your random motes in there, guys. Try to get a free sub. Thanks for the follow, my friend. So we got scare alerts on for Scaretober. So I think that you've got to be understanding of the fact that this seems more like an excuse to me than a legitimate just misplaced kind of action or something like that. That's kind of weird. So you're right here. No grown-up should ever use adult language or make adult jokes in the presence of a minor, the developer wrote on his blog. Yeah, dude. So, why did you? Mahan said it was foolish of him to think that an adult could be friends with a minor. He noted that this was because regardless of what the adult's intentions in the beginning are, there are a lot of potential things that could go wrong. He said, due to this, any scenario with an adult and a minor together should never be allowed to happen in the first place. While his apology has convinced some of his fans and netizens believe he was using the minor to justify his actions, then it was a half apology as per Distractify. People from the gaming community are banding together to boycott the game, Yandere Simulator, and the developer Yandere Dev. Michaela Laws, the voice actress and voice director of Yandere Chan, posted a note on X saying she has officially stepped down from her roles after supporting the project for nearly a decade. Famous gaming YouTubers like Bijou Mike have refused to post content related to the game. Other voice actors and staff members are also leaving the game after the controversy arose. Yeah, look, man, I mean, it's not like this was just a situation where he got contacted by an individual and I think honestly what he should have, the way most people would have addressed the situation was like, even if they thought like a friendship was like forming here or whatever, immediately upon finding out that this other individual was 16 and a minor, most people go, hey, sorry. It's probably just not the best situation for either one of us, to be having some kind of personal relationship in any form or fashion, if it was just a matter of having some kind of like community-based relationship where other people are involved and stuff like that, it's not that big of a deal, really, right? I mean, we do that here, dude. We've got a community of amazing people that hang out every single day, and but I think the difference being that, like, I know we have some younger individuals that hang out here and stuff like that. We've got people from all over the world of all different backgrounds, different ages and stuff like that. But and while I always promote this as a place where if people are having a struggle or need any kind of help, because we're all about trying to take care of one another and stuff, right? I would never ever expect anybody to try and take advantage of anybody else in any form or fashion. Adult to adult, youth to youth, adult to youth, youth to an adult, I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't fit in with what the premise of what our community is about, you know. But it's a different kind of situation too, because we're not necessarily in a situation where we're trying to have like one-on-one, normally anyways, one-on-one kind of personal relationships outside of what we do here on the constant while we're just like hanging out together. Yeah, I have expressed to people for sure, like, if you ever need anything, I have no problem, dude. If people are struggling, they're having a hard time or whatever, um, you know, I want to make sure that people understand that the Discord's always open for people to hit. I know that, dude. I'm available for people. You know, if they need somebody to just decompress to, or you know, get some stuff off their chest or their shoulders. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that I'm you know, necessarily going to be trying to strike up some super personal relationship, but I'm always going to try and give people, you know, my time and assistance if I can try and help them through any kind of situation, you know. Um, so as opposed to something like this where it definitely does come off as more of a situation where this individual seemed to be in a grooming situation of a youth, dude, which is really kind of disgusting. You know, the thing here is, like, we also don't have any transcripts. I have no idea what was being said all the way through this, but it's not a good look, that's for sure. You know, um, yeah. Yeah, I think there's a difference, and I think that's where people also have to understand and be careful, though. You know what I mean? Um, you need to be, you know, that's why I try to be upfront with people about, like, I care about everybody that's a part of what we do here, right? But and I truly do, man. I truly do. It's not going to be the same kind of caring and relationship that I have with my own kids and my own wife, though. You know what I mean? For me, it's not that same way. It just won't be, because the amount of love and care. I mean, my kids and my wife, dude, they're everything to me. They're first and foremost all the time for me, you know. Um, but this dude, our community here is a very, very, very important thing to me, and the people that are a part of it on the constant, the people that, you know, especially long-term community members, stuff like that, mean a great deal to me, dude. You know, I do. I truly care for the people that are part of our community. I've made great friends through this community that I care about greatly. I really do, and I will always be there for anybody if they need me. But it's important, I think, for people to understand that where the lines of that relationship get drawn as well, right? And anybody that's in their you know, kind of right mind about these kinds of situations would not have gone into as deep of a situation as Alexander Mahan did here with a 16-year-old individual, somebody almost 20 years younger, and a minor. You know, it's a very different kind of situation, which I think you can only really take away one thing about what was trying to be done here, right? I think that's really what this comes down to. Yeah, that's I like how Syke has kind of gotten this entire like this entire sentiment spread out across the entire community now. You know what I mean? This all started with Syke, bro. Jesus Christ, it's so funny. You guys are wild. You know, generally vulgar jokes aren't my thing. Yeah, and I mean, you know, we have fun and we joke around here a lot, and we have a lot of, you know, there's a reason why I don't do a lot of cursing. I don't we try to maintain a safe for work atmosphere, right? I don't the worst I'll ever curse is saying either crap or ass. I don't go beyond that. We try to maintain safe for work. We do some subtle humor, subtle adult humor, right? But I try to make sure that we maintain the subtle kind of low key stuff, because I know that the vulgar stuff is not appealing to a lot of people, and that's why, you know, I don't think it's necessary. We have a lot of different people that are part of this community. We have a lot of different age ranges that are part of this community. And I don't think there's any need for it to get to a point where things just get gross. Things get vulgar, they get gross. I've called things out before. I've deleted things in chat. I've let people know when maybe they've stepped across those boundaries, because it's, in my opinion, just not necessary, right? We have fun, we laugh, we you know, there's some subtle, you know, humor that you know, adults would probably grab onto rather than maybe young people and stuff like that. And I think that's the way it should be, you know. So I don't know. It's a difficult thing, and I think that for content creators and everything too, it's kind of getting a feeling for where you want your community to be, the way you want it to be run. Everybody feels different about that, and I feel very comfortable with the way in our community wasn't always like this. It was a bit more constrained with the way we did content in the first place, because I needed time to fill out where you know, the safe space was for us, and where I was comfortable with everything being, because I want people as a whole to feel comfortable around here, you know. And that's a very important thing for me. I want this to be content that a large amount of people are comfortable with being here and being a part of, because that's what this has always been for me, is allowing a space where as many people could feel included, welcomed, you know, like they wouldn't have to worry about being turned off by anything overly, you know, vulgar or unnecessary, and but we could still laugh and have a good time. And I think we've gotten to a good point with that, you know. Um, yeah, yeah. So I think it works, you know. And but when it comes down to this kind of stuff, this is an entirely different thing, and that's why I just kind of wanted to give, like, I think, you know, a big look at the overarching contrast between something like a community like we have here, where we have a varying difference in the people we have that are part of our community, and how somebody like this has actually tried to, they found somebody of an age that is considered a minor, and the lengths they've gone to in apparently trying to groom that individual, you know. It's hard to backtrack off that, you know. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't help but think that you knew what you were doing, you know. You knew what you were doing, dude. Yeah. And now you're sorry because you got busted. Yeah, I mean, this is the age-old case. You know, it's like this is always, oh, I got busted. I knew, like you didn't know it was wrong. You know. Oh no, this I'll link this for you, dude. You might just have to go back and watch this article. We're like just finishing it up, but it was a pretty long talk. This dev has been alleged allegations of grooming, and like a 16-year-old and stuff, and just talking about the difference between, like, you know, what our community does here, and you know, we're a very caring and close knit community and stuff, but um you know, and how we try to be there for one another as much as possible. But you know, I think this is a place where you would never expect anybody to do that kind of thing, as opposed to, well, like what we've seen happen in like this particular situation right here with this individual, you know. Just trying to like flesh out the differences between, you know, the relationships and that kind of thing, you know. So I'll let you take a look. It's kind of wild. What's up, Vault? Happy Sunday, dude. What's going on, man? So yeah, that's pretty disgusting news. I look, I mean, you know, you guys know me. I'm always going to be somebody that takes everything with a little bit of a grain of salt, you know. I I would probably be very disgusted by a lot of the transcript stuff, but I've also, we didn't get a whole lot of information about exactly what was said and stuff like that too. So, I can only I can't help but believe that that individual, Alex Mahan, the developer there, was in fact, legitimately, trying to groom that individual, and that's unfortunate and disgusting. I figure that's probably what was going down there. Thanks for the topic there, Cappy. I appreciate it. All right, here's the last article I have. If anybody has anything else to add, let me know, and we'll address it before we take a quick break, and then the stream will stay live. Obviously, most people know that, but we'll take a quick break after we finish up the news segment here, and then we're gonna go play our first day of trying out No More Room in Hell with community members, man. So here we go. The Emma Classic Nintendo Switch graphics upscaler is on sale today only, and that was yesterday. So yeah, we've already talked about that. It's just for PS5. I don't know. Get wrecked, dude. Yeah, I talked about it the other day. it's just a PS5 patch to take the disgusting port of a 13-year-old game that they sold for $50 and take the frames up from 30 to 60. So, I don't know. Rockstar can get wrecked, dude. I'm not a fan, dude. I'm not a fan. 30. From 30 frames to 60, if that's what you're referencing by 13. Oh, the Redfall. I was thinking about Red Dead. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, we covered that too. I just switched it in my head. Yeah, we covered the Redfall thing too. We covered that yesterday. Yeah, my bad, dude. Yeah, I was thinking Red Dead. So Redfall. Yeah, we covered it. Yeah, we covered it yesterday. Sorry, man. I don't know how I read Red Dead from Redfall, but yeah, we covered it. Basically yesterday it was like I was actually like trolling out the who was it that was in that article trying to really like, I think it was Bethesda, one of the Bethesda higher ups, trying to really promote the Redfall stuff. They've got some new gameplay stuff coming out. They've got we saw like three weeks to like, I don't know, maybe it was like about 5 weeks ago. We saw an article where Bethesda's like, we're gonna make Redfall great. We're gonna make Redfall great again. I was like, no, you're not. I mean, they could improve it. But look, dude. I mean, I think it's they've lost their window of opportunity. To be honest, Yeah. Sorry, Vault. Yeah. I read it, and it for some reason instead of reading Redfall, dude, I put Red Dead in my head. So the Redfall thing, I think that it doesn't really matter what they do. This is the difference, and I've talked about this. It's not like you can't take a game that wasn't necessarily great in the first place and turn it into something good, right? We've seen it happen. The difference being, like, you take a game, my example would be something like Final Fantasy 14, right? That's a game that was terrible when it first released, and it's become one of the most beloved MMORPGs of all time. And it required an entire, like, rebuild of that game. Which was a huge risk for Square, yeah? But they did it and it worked. Here's the difference, though. You're talking about a game that has a name like Final Fantasy on it, which always is going to have more potential to bring people back in to try the game again. When you talk about a game like Redfall, how much potential is really there to bring people back in to play again, right? I don't know that it's really there. And I don't think that just increasing the frame rate of the game from 30 to 60 is going to do a whole lot. I mean, it's a step in the right direction. And they did some other improvements and stuff too, apparently. We read a little bit about it yesterday. But man, I really don't see them. Here's the thing. The other thing we had read recently was that the game had hit single-digit player base for the past 2 weeks on Steam, dude. I think it's dead. I don't know that they can do too much to revive it unless they totally like revamped that game in a very, very drastic way, which I don't think they're going to devote that amount of resources to. It's probably got more of a player base on something like, Game Pass right now, but on Steam, it's dead. It's dead. So, them talking about wanting to, they're going to make the game good again and what, here's the thing. How often do we see live service games die off? And they're talking about, yesterday we read about it, and they're like, this is a game that we're planning on being around for 10 years. I don't see it, man. If you don't have enough player base, if you don't have enough player base to justify continuing to pour resources into the game, resources meaning the hardware to keep it running, the manpower to keep patching it and trying to revamp the game into something decent, because let's be fair, the game was not very good on release. They're trying to figure out how to make it decent, and that's still a task that they have to figure out. And if they don't have enough of a player base coming back in to play it, it's just going to die. They've got to come to the conclusion that it's not paying off for them, even as a Game Pass game, because it's not going to be bringing in subscribers, and I honestly, unless they figure out something pretty incredible to change what the game is, I just don't see it happening. I mean, we'll see, but that's kind of like the conclusion I've come to with that entire situation, man. I appreciate you bringing it up and make sure I was aware, and I'm sorry that for some reason I read Red Dead out of Redfall. Not enough coffee, dude. I've only had one glass. I need more coffee, bro. But yeah, that's kind of like my entire perception of what's going on right now with Bethesda and them trying to act like they're going to be able to get Arcane to fix this situation. They had a lot riding on that game. I just don't see it happening, dude. Yeah. Bro, I have way more than most people, I feel like, though. Yeah. The M Classic Nintendo Switch graphics upscaler is on sale today only. This was yesterday. I don't know if it's still going to be there or not, but I'll link this for you guys so you can take a look. The M Classic is on a lightning deal at Amazon. Must have accessory if you plan on playing retro games on a modern TV. The M Classic is one of the coolest and most practical gaming accessories around right now, especially if you enjoy playing retro games. The M Classic is a plug-and-play dongle. What a great word, dude. Dongle. That upscales the resolution of your games. This is extremely useful for older consoles, such as GameCube, Nintendo 64, and Super Nintendo. It also offers a slight visual upgrade for Nintendo Switch games, which makes it a neat accessory for modern Nintendo games, too. Interesting. Aside from upscaling your resolution, the M Classic also provides anti-aliasing to smooth jagged edges, automatically adjusts depth of field, and sharpens images for a more natural look. Using the product is straightforward. Just plug it into your console, plug in the M Classic power cable, and then reconnect your HDMI cable from your TV into the M Classic. It works natively with any console that offers an HDMI port, making this a great way to improve last-gen graphic quality. Depending on your TV, it'll upscale older games to either 1440p or 4K. That's actually dope, dude. As mentioned, it's also a wonderful accessory for retro gaming on modern TVs. So if you want to play consoles like GameCube, Super Nintendo, or 64 without a CRT TV, the M Classic is a great option. While we found the M Classic to work great for the Switch and retro Nintendo consoles, your mileage may vary based on which console and TV you're using. That said, regardless of which console you play on, the M Classic will certainly help display crisper textures and a clearer picture for retro games, making them highly playable on modern TVs. I'll link this for you guys. I'll also say this. I found this bad boy not too long ago, and I grabbed this for our Switch that we have here. This guy is pretty dope for the Switch as well, and it works on other consoles, older consoles as well. It's called the Magic NS2, and it's a dongle. Get dongled. It's just a USB adapter, right? You plug it into your Switch, and then the other end is another female USB, right? So you plug this in into your Switch, and then you can either by wire plug in controllers, or you can connect controllers to this wirelessly. So a lot of controllers that wouldn't normally work with a Nintendo console will work with your Switch if you have this dongle. And it works really seamlessly. It's really, really cool. So if you have controllers laying around and you know, yeah, and it works, dude, not just for the Switch either. For like a lot of other old consoles, PS3, stuff like that. You can plug it into your PS3 and then use like, you know, Xbox controllers and stuff. It's a really cool piece of software that's inside that little dongle there, man. So I got it for our Switch because I've got a ton of other wild, you know, just controllers and peripherals and stuff laying around, and it works really well, dude. Works really well. So if you've got a bunch of controllers and you've got a bunch of consoles and stuff like that, it's not a bad thing to have lying around, you know. So both of the one that I just showed off, just because I think it's a nice little piece of cheap piece of hardware to have, accessory to have for consoles, as well as this. I've never used this, but this seems very good, man. So take a look at that as well. Cool. Let's do this. Yeah. That's the news, baby. That's the news. So we're going to move on. We're going to go play some No More Room in Hell with community members. This should be a cool day. It's Scaretober. For anybody that's not familiar with what we do here, we every October we turn into Scaretober. We play horror games all month, and a lot of times on the weekends and stuff, I try to find games that I can play with the community and everything. Yesterday we played my first ever experience of Killing Floor 2 with community members, and that was a lot of fun. It was pretty dope. The Christmas vibe in that game was so good, dude. But we're going to go play a game called No More Room in Hell. It's got a bit of an older graphic style to it because it's a bit of an older game, but it's been maintained and updated throughout its existence of roughly 12 years now, and it looks like it's going to be a fun time for myself and other community members and stuff, so we're going to have some fun with that. But if anybody's been hanging out and you're not quite familiar with what we do here on The Constant, we stream 6 days a week. No Wednesday streams, but every other day we start off at roughly 6 a.m. CST. We always kick it off with our video gaming news segment like we're finishing up right now. We always dive into anything we can find that is pertinent, relative, and new for that's been going on within the video gaming industry, you know, that we haven't hit on previously. Just try to stay current on what's going on in the industry, flesh out a lot of these ideas, because most of us that have come and become part of this community, we've come together initially because of our love for video games, you know, and so it's something that I'm very passionate about. A lot of us around here are, and we like doing the video gaming news stuff to try and stay current on what's going on in the industry. And so we always start off with that, and then like we're about to do right now, once we finish the news segment, we always move on, and then we play games for the rest of the day. So we're going to do that right now. But if anybody is maybe watching this as a VOD later on, we've got all of our previous video gaming news segments out there, as well as the playthroughs we've done here in the community. Funny, crazy, wild clips and highlights. We just got our year 2 montage put into the YouTube channel, or our first year 2 montage, a bunch of highlights and clips together for a montage. We've got more to come on that front. And we're just always, you know, looking for more cool people, spreading good vibes, that are passionate about the video gaming industry to come be a part of what we do. So if you're checking out our content in any capacity and you're enjoying it, and this seems like the place for you, then we would be more than happy to have you come be a part of what we do. So we got an awesome community of people that are always here and helping to create an amazing space for everybody to be a part of. And we're always looking for more new people that express those same kind of sentiments, can be additional parts of our community, man. So I don't know. Happy flipping Sunday, dude. I hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend. We're gonna go play some games, but I don't know. Big love, dude. Spread that love around, and we'll be back tomorrow with our next edition of Video Gaming News on October 9th. All right.